Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to this webinar. That's the introduction to meditating with the sacred and the mundane, which will be a 4-week course. And let me move things around here on my screen so I can talk to you a little easier. Um, so let me start by saying I saw an email a few weeks ago that came through from someone, from a friend. I mean, it was writing about her work, but she was talking about awakening our consciousness and the mistakes that people make with meditation that blocks them. And so I started thinking about that. That was kind of the motivation to do this course. I've taught meditation online before, and I've been teaching meditation most of my adult life. But when I saw that email, I started thinking about that. You know, there are lots of techniques, lots of methods out there, and there's not an exact right or wrong way to meditate, but there are techniques that deepen your experience with meditation. The ones that I teach are called universal life energy, and we work with the chakra system through physical and non-physical techniques. But before we jump into techniques, first let me check if you are, make sure you mute yourself if you haven't already, just so we don't get outside noise. And in a few minutes, I'll ask for questions, and you can just unmute yourself when we get to that. But let me talk for just a minute about what meditation is. You know, we usually think of meditation as sitting quietly with our eyes closed, something like a prayer. And that certainly is one aspect of meditation and a very important part of meditation. I call that meditating with the sacred. But most of our day is spent in mundane activities, taking out the trash, making a meal, washing dishes. And I believe that meditation is meant to be done during both sacred and mundane activities. So my definition or purpose of meditation, I think, is to transform our consciousness physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's also to improve our health and our thinking and our perception, to find a way to live in a balanced state, especially when we interact with the mundane. And a different aspect of meditation is to become aware of subtle energy and consciousness. So to connect to our physical world and our non-physical world, which today is explained through quantum physics, through science. And another aspect of meditation is to be of service to ourselves, but to be of service to others and to the world around us as we uplift our consciousness. So let's take a moment to look at the world around us. I have a quote, which is a Serbian proverb. Let me get to this. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. And I think that's so appropriate to remember with meditation. Be humble, but be noble. We're earth and we're stars. Meditation is a doorway. And if we pay attention to the vibrations around us, we can function more in balance. And part of the vibrations are with our sun, our moon, our planets. And we perhaps can make greater headway in our spiritual path when we pay attention to some of those vibrations. For instance, last Sunday, September 25th, was the new moon in Libra. And Libra is associated with balance and harmony. And that Libra energy influences how we experience relationships. So from the perspective of oneness, every relationship is a sacred mirror that can reflect back to you significant aspects of your personal self or your spiritual self. Another event coming up this Saturday, October 1st, Venus is going to sit opposite Jupiter. So now Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Venus is a planet connected to the heart. So with that configuration, we have this beautiful heart expanding energy, which makes it a wonderful time to meditate. So, and if like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you're feeling out of sorts, think about this beautiful heart expanded energy and imagine breathing this energy in. You know, think of it as like a pink light coming around you, and breathe in that energy to help balance you. And also looking around the world around us, the East Coast of the United States is experiencing another hurricane. And the Pacific coast currently does not have one, but Mexico had some pretty serious tropical storms recently. So metaphorically, storms can be transformational and assist our soul growth. Storms clear away the debris. Now, sometimes those metaphorical storms clear away more than we want. Physical storms sometimes clear away more than we want cleared as well. But with that debris cleared, the outcome of the storm can open you to a new way of life or a new creative energy. So looking at the world around us is really important, and paying attention to that and to the vibrations around us can make a difference in how we function. So in just a minute, I'll tell you more about my meditation process, and we'll do a meditation. But first, let me take a little break here and see if there are any questions or comments at this point. If there are, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question or comment if you have one. All silent. Okay. Well, I want to share my screen with you and show you just a short slideshow. I see there's okay, Avondale Retreat. I'm not sure who that is, but she says beautiful. Okay, good. And Angelina had said good evening from Italy. Welcome. I know it is night there for you. So the upcoming course is called Meditating with the Sacred and the Mundane. And this is an introduction to that 4-week class. You can register for the class at my website. Let me actually, if I can get into my chat, there is the website if you need that. And so this is an introduction to that and some of the things that I'll be doing in that. Now, meditation is a very old process, and it's throughout cultures across time. You know, the images of Buddha, we've all seen those. Well, this picture I took at the museum in Cairo. This is an Egyptian priest sitting in meditation, and this statue is somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 years old. Meditation is universally oriented. It's compatible with any belief system. You may meditate slightly different. In some other meditation courses I've taught, I've really talked about the type of meditation that different spiritual practices and different religions use. That won't be a part of this course, but meditation is not about a specific belief system. It's about finding that universal connection within. So what is meditation? And I said this just a couple of minutes ago. I think it's finding a balanced state for that physical, mental, and emotional energy, becoming aware of subtle energy and consciousness, but it's also about improving our health, our thinking, our perception, and being of service to ourselves and to others and to the world around us. So, how do we meditate and when do we meditate? I see it as a way of life that if we are truly committing ourselves to meditate, then we meditate with the sacred and the mundane. We meditate in a quiet, sacred place. We meditate in nature. But we can also meditate on a busy street, making that connection into the oneness as we interact with the world around us. Now, I'm about to show you my favorite picture of the sacred and the mundane. This is a mosque. This is a picture that was taken in Luxor, Egypt. This is a mosque and a McDonald's sign. We had just come from the mosque and I had turned around to see this beautiful sunset, all the colors in the sky. And there's this mosque up against the sunset sky, and there's McDonald's. There's the sacred and the mundane. This is what life is about. Yes, there are sacred places to go, whether it's in your home or to a center. There are sacred places, but life, the mundane life, is also a part of our meditation if we truly want to connect to the oneness. All of life can be a meditation. We can sit peacefully thinking about our plans for tomorrow or our families, or we can sit in nature or walk in nature. We can listen to beautiful music. All of that can be an aspect of meditation. Then conscious meditation goes one step further, because when we do that, we're meditating for attunement, for balance, for perception and purpose. We use our intention and our consciousness to set aside specific time and energy to devote to meditation. And universal life energy meditation can help deepen your meditation techniques, or if you're new to meditation, can help you learn to meditate effectively. So as we meditate, we interact with energy systems which are all around us. Now, in our physical body, we have this system that we call chakras. But what is an energy system? What is energy? What does that really mean? Well, it means a lot of different things. The definition of energy is different. It's certainly power derived from chemical resources. You know, we run our cars with energy. We have electricity that's energy. But other definitions of energy are about power and strength, or liveliness and vitality. All of those are energy. Energy, though, cannot be seen. We see the results of energy, but we can't see the energy at ourselves, the energy itself. However, when we talk about energy and energy systems, we really may be basing it on old information because our culture has changed in recent years. Once upon a time, our teachings for the last at least 2,000 years or longer have been that all things are separate, or maybe not quite that long. I think there was a period in Christianity where we leaned more toward the separate. But today we're going back to that all things are connected. So even in schools, atoms were once presented as separate individual processes. Come on, there we go. But today, the visualization of an atom is very different when it's taught in school. It's more about the vibrations echoing out from the atoms rather than a single structure totally into itself. So, and there's even a difference in how we consider energy. There's an optical vision and an energy vision. Now, you've all heard of the Hubble Space Telescope. It is an optical telescope, and it shows space like this, with all of the stars and planets and suns separate. But the Chandra telescope is an energy sensing telescope. This is the same shot in the sky. And that view with the energy sensing telescope shows everything is connected. It's a web rather than these individual shining stars. So the energy is flowing regardless of whether we're conscious of it or not. And our thoughts, our feelings, our actions are continuously impacting the world around us. So how does this relate to meditation? So it relates in terms of subtle energy. But first, before I talk about subtle energy, let's look at 3 levels of knowledge. The first level is the physical world, physical knowledge. This is about our senses, color, sound, texture, temperature. Another level of knowledge is the intellect, our deductive reasoning. An example of that is that we see the sun setting. Okay, with our eyes, the sun sets. But intellectually, we know the sun doesn't really set. We know that the earth rotates. So we view it one way in the physical world, but our deductive reasoning tells us something different. Well, the third level of knowledge is called intuitive knowledge. And this is about deeply hidden, subtle awarenesses. So instead of perceiving that gross physical world, the color, the sound, the texture, the temperatures, or even our thoughts that come out of deductive reasoning, our goal in meditation is to experience subtle energy, the radiant potential, the vibration, the energetic forms. Meditation is about subtle awareness. Now, subtle awareness does not come quickly. And especially if you're kind of new to subtle awareness, it's only there for a few seconds, maybe even not just new to it. You may only get a few seconds of subtle awareness anyway. But sustaining the practice of meditation or maintaining a focus of subtle awareness, over time, the process improves a little. Meditation is something that needs to be practiced with confidence and trust and the desire to break that pattern of spiritual complacency that we often have. So working with meditation and subtle energy is a matter of breaking habits to let the light be more dominant. And when the light is more dominant, we can dwell in that source of oneness, the source of all being. Universal life energy techniques can help us form new habits. So the techniques help bring your attention to your chakra system, these energy centers in your body. The energy flow helps you connect more deeply with your inner guidance and to connect more deeply with a higher state of consciousness. So let's look at one universal life energy technique. It's called balancing and grounding. So the canopy of a tree is the same size as the roots beneath the tree, though we don't see those roots. The strength of that tree is balanced by those roots underneath it. And so we as humans need to balance ourselves, have that strong foundation beneath us. So let's try this balancing and grounding exercise. You can stand if you like, but you can do it just as well sitting. You don't have to stand to do this. Just stand or sit with your feet just comfortably apart. And you're going to put, I know you can't see me very well, but like in the picture, you're going to put your arms out a little bit to the sides with your palms facing up. And then just wait. You might happen to feel that subtle energy in the center of your palms, or You might feel absolutely nothing. Either way, the energy is there flowing out of the palms of your hands. And so that's why we wait for just a moment for that energy flow. And then you roll your palms down, still out to the side, but roll palms down toward the earth. And then with your hands down, take your focus of those hands and your focus in your mind down beneath your feet, about 12 inches or a third of a meter below your feet into the earth. So think about kind of a circle underneath your feet, focusing down at that with your palms down. And just notice you might feel a flow of energy from your hands connecting down to the earth. Sometimes people feel that more than they feel the palms are up. So if you're noticing just a tiny little sensation in your hands, that's called subtle energy flowing out of your hands. And now in your mind, connect that energy, whether you feel it or not, just connect that energy from the palms of your hands down to that circle beneath your feet. And with your hands still down, in your mind, focus out in front of you, out in front of your heart. And then take your attention from in front of you through your body out behind you, like the picture is showing, just kind of a flow of energy from front to back at the heart level. And then with your hands still down, move your attention above the top of your head. So you have hands down, this flow of energy at your heart, and now you've moved your attention above the top of your head. Now, with your arms still down, roll your hands up and point the palms of your hands as if you had a pointer in each hand. Point it toward that place above the top of your head. So that is a balancing activity that you've started. And so now we're going to do the next part of this is called a grounding. So now bring your hands together in front of your chest, palm to palm, and just wait for just a second or two. And now just kind of wash your hands over your face, kind of, just kind of move your hands across the front of your face, and then move your hands on down to your chest and drag your hands down the front of your body, all the way down to your legs, your knees, and if you can, lean all the way over, drag it down the front of your legs across the tops of your feet. And then, especially if you're standing, then put your hands on the sides of your legs. I mean, standing or sitting, you can do this. Put your hands on the sides of your thighs there and just rub lightly. And just leave your hands there for just a little bit. And again, you might feel some energy flow, you might not. But just know that when you put those hands on the sides of your legs, you've created a grounding that helps you be more in balance and in harmony. Now, take a really slow, deep breath, and then just release that breath. So there's nothing physically that you can see that you've done. I mean, you felt your hands dragging down your body, but you're not seeing the energy flow physically, yet that energy is moving through your body. That's part of the non-physical aspect of meditation. So the balancing exercise is very powerful. Even though you may or may not feel any subtle energy whatsoever, it's very powerful. And it ends with that grounding for stabilization. So with that balancing and grounding, you can restore energy, you can even out your temper, it can help you think clearly and calmly. And beginning with it every day can set a tone for your day and even help your sleep at night. So you can use the balancing and grounding anytime, but especially when you feel stressed or anxious or kind of off center. Or you probably won't be able to do this during an emotional experience, but maybe after the emotional experience, you can remember to balance and ground, because it will really help bring you back to center. It's another really super good thing to use if you've been driving for a long time. You know how you get out of the car and you stretch and move your body. Well, doing this balancing and grounding can really help you, because sometimes when you're driving, or even if you're riding, you get off into a zone and kind of almost get into an altered state. And this can help ground you, bring you back into center. And then, of course, you can always use it after meditation. In a few minutes, we'll meditate, and I'll take you through that. It'll be slightly different from what we did as we end meditation, but the way that I showed you is a really good thing to do any time of day, a great thing to do first thing in the morning. No matter what form or type of meditation you choose, bring meditation into your daily life, into your sacred life, but into your mundane everyday life as well. And in that sacred space, create a time and a space for that spiritual practice, because it will go deeper if you create that sacred space for meditation. And if you'd like to deepen this and learn more about it, you can register for this 4-week course at my website. But right now, I'd like us to do a meditation together. Let me stop my share, come back to the screen. And this is a good time if you have a shawl or a blanket nearby. Sometimes when you meditate, especially if you meditate for a longer period, your body temperature drops, and it's really helpful to have some sort of a shawl nearby to put around you. On the other hand, the other thing that can happen with that subtle energy is that your body temperature can feel like you're really hot. So if you feel in this meditation or any meditation, if you feel really hot or really cold, that's perfectly normal, because that happens sometimes. The deeper we go into meditation, your body sends these signals that something is different, because the subtle energy is changing in your body. You're noticing a different kind of feeling in your body. So so this, just get your shawl ready. And if you are someone who likes to meditate laying down, this is a good time to do that, just as long as you can hear my voice, because this will be a short guided meditation. And what I'll do, I'll guide you into the meditation, and then I'll do a little chanting, and then I'll go into silence for just a short period of time. And then I'll bring you out of the silence with chanting again. And then we'll do the balancing and the grounding. It'll be a little bit different from what I did before. Okay, any questions before we go into the meditation? Anyone? Okay, and if you're muted, unmute yourself if you've got a question, and if not, I'll go ahead and take us into it. So just sit comfortably, Sit back in your chair, or if you're laying down, just get yourself comfortable. Have your shawl nearby. And start with just noticing the air around you. Is it cool or is it warm? Notice the chair beneath you. Is it comfortable? Just noticing the physical world, and then just let that go. And as we start into the meditation, you might have all sorts of mind chatter. And if you do, I like to think about a conveyor belt running in front of me, actually running a circle around me. And when these mind chatter things come up in my mind, I just put them out on the conveyor belt and let them ride the belt around. When I'm through with meditation, they will have come full circle and I can take them up again and argue inside myself with them. But just let those things float through. Pay no attention to these many things that may or may not come through your mind. Just let them come, let them go. And now pay attention to your breathing. You don't have to breathe in a particular way, but just breathe as deeply and comfortably as you can. Take that breath in and breath out, just at your own pace. And now bring your hands together in front of your heart, just with your fingers touching. We have a chakra system, an energy system in our body, and our hands and fingers correspond with that energy in our system. And so we start with our hands together to help awaken or open those chakras, begin to start them activating a little bit. So just kind of touch your fingers together, just ever so slightly, touch, touch, touch. And then just let your hands be still. And then pull your hands apart, just a few inches, maybe as wide as your shoulder. And draw that energy just like we did in that exercise. Imagine that energy out in front of you at your heart level. And draw that energy that's in front of you, toward your physical body, through your body, and all the way out the back. And then draw your attention above the top of your head. And now let your attention drop to your forehead. You've still got this energy flowing at your heart. You've taken that attention up above the top of your head. Now drop down to your physical brow, to your forehead. And take a breath in, and as you release that breath, draw your attention off the physical, just a few inches out in front of you. And then as you take your next breath, draw that attention that's out in front of you back toward your physical brow. Take it all the way through your head and out behind your head, out the back. And then with another breath, release that energy at your brow into your heart at the back. And now as you sit with your hands a little bit apart with that flowing energy, just leave your hands there as long as you comfortably can. And when your arms get tired, you just let them drop into your lap. But with your mind, know that you're holding that energy at your heart. And take another breath in. And as you do that, imagine this gentle cloud floating down around your body, around your head, down your shoulders and your arms. Let it continue around your body, around your trunk, past your hips and your legs and your feet. And you're sitting in this beautiful, comfortable cloud, a safe, warm place to be, a comfortable place. And while you're in this safe, comfortable place, I'll chant with a few ohms, and then we'll go into a short, silent meditation. And then I'll bring you out with a few more ohms, and we'll do a balancing and a grounding. So just in that deep, peaceful place, sitting in this beautiful cloud, go a little deeper into your meditation.
Still in this deep place of meditation, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And in your mind, say thank you to the universe for this meditation. And then lift your hands, palms together, above the top of your head. And then roll your hands back to back. And then just kind of push out with your arms up, but your palms down. Still in that deep place of meditation. And then take a breath in and roll your hands up. And then bring your hands together again above the top of your head. And then let the base of your hands drop to your hair, your wrists resting on the top of your head. And then release your hands and let them slide down the back of your head, with your palms coming to rest on your shoulders. Let your little fingers touch. Let those fingers just kind of drop off the back of your shoulders. You're activating that heart center, the throat center, and the brow center as you do this. So take a breath in and breath out. And then lift your hands off your shoulders, up over your head. And just drop your hands down in front of your face, coming to rest on your chest at that heart center. And now drag those hands from your chest, from your heart, down your trunk, very slowly. Drag your hands down. Drag your hands across the tops of your legs. And when you get to your knees, just kind of stop and rub the knees. And slide your hands in behind your knees and rub back there. Just continuing to ground yourself. And drag your hands down the front of your legs. And then reach back and rub down the calves. Brush your ankles. Brush across the tops of your feet and press in at your toes. And then kind of lift your feet and brush toward the bottoms of your feet. And then with your body folded over, bring your elbows up to your thighs above your knees there and kind of press just a little. And at the same time, focus on the muscles in your belly button and begin to pull back. You might have done a move like that in yoga or something. Kind of pull at those muscles. And as you do that, you'll find that your spine begins to straighten. Go very, very slowly, letting your spine straighten as if you could move just one vertebrae at a time. Slowly, slowly, with your head still
down, and bring your shoulders to center. And when your shoulders are up and your spine is more or less straight, then focus at the base of your neck and pull back with those muscles. And as you do that, your head will just kind of float up. And so as you're coming out of meditation now, begin to move your hands, wiggle your fingers, and might stretch, yawn if it feels good. Just kind of move your body just a little bit. Become aware of the air around you, the space where you are. Notice the chair. Just coming back into this physical world that we're in. So that was a short meditation. If you choose to take the class, we'll do a longer meditation. We'll do about a half-hour meditation in the class with discussion and some other universal life energy techniques. But that's kind of a short example. I think that was about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. I didn't time it exactly, but somewhere in that neighborhood. And so what I'd like to do now is go back to gallery view here and see if anyone has any comments or questions about any of the process that we did, or if you had any sensation of subtle energy in your hands or any part of your body, I'd love for you to share that if you would as well. So just unmute yourself and let me hear from you if you would. I know it's always hard when you come out of a meditation because you're a little bit out there still on the edge for quite some time. Meditation doesn't end just because we say it's over. You're still in a meditative state. Maria, I see you have unmuted.
Yes, I know I made it. I'm so happy. My husband helped me because we had no internet, and then maybe because of the storm.
Storm.
Yeah, God bless. It's a little bit. It's very windy, and showers, but nothing else. And yeah, and I was so ready to start meditating. I lit my candle. It was. But yes, I did feel incredibly, very, very much, especially the tips of my fingers, and then the palms a little bit, but especially, yes, and I could feel my legs too, the sensations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when we have to, when we close our eyes, but when we bring in the energy also through the forehead, also I can,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I can feel it very, very strong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah. And if you, the rest of you, if you didn't feel that energy, that's not unusual. It's very subtle, and sometimes you'll feel it and sometimes you won't, even when you're accustomed to feeling it. Doesn't mean every time that you'll feel the same sensation. Yeah. Anyone else want to share?
Well, I just want to thank you because it was so lovely. I've been meditating for years and I do Qigong and a lot of inward practices, but I'm very drawn to what you offer because of your presence. It's just very gentle and calming for me. It's very nurturing and balanced. So, and I do like the incorporation of voice when you sing a song or go into the chanting. So thank you. I mean, I almost fell asleep, which isn't the purpose, but I'm quite tired these days. I'm dealing with some health issues. So yeah, I just wanted to, say a word of appreciation and thanks, Peggy.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very glad you're here. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Any comments about your experience? Well, thank you, everyone. Let me stop the recording.